hello. I thought we could talk about what books I plan to read coming up. It's almost the end of April. Is that not disgusting? It's disgusting. For May, I want to do a video on the Song of Achilles, and so we're gonna have to reread that bad boy by Madeline Miller. I've reread it probably 3 times, but I haven't read it in 3 years. So there was like a period of my life where I just loved this book and I read it too many times. So when I last tried to read it about a month ago, I just knew all the lines already and I was bored. It doesn't carry the same weight as it did before, but now we've got points to make. So I need to reread it. And another one is book 2 in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb, which is The Assassins. No, it's gonna be here anyways. This is what it is. Oh, so I even wanted to read the Farseer trilogy in the first place was number 1, I was seeing it all over Instagram because a newly released kind of illustrated edition came out and everything has been more modernized, and I was like, oh my god, what's this book? Oh, that's interesting. Even though, again, I'm not a high fantasy person. So everyone was like, oh my god, please read it, and so I did. One character that I really, the reason why I'm interested in this series is we were introduced to a character called the Fool, who is just fascinating. That's what I want to say is fascinating. Here's a picture of them. Is that not fascinating? Also, this is what the official art is when they like show him. Come on, you could have. This is why. Anyways, we're getting off topic. And I was seeing there was a lot of diversity. That was especially surprising for a series that was coming from 1995 was when it was first written. So a lot of diversity, not only in the way of like race and nationality, but also in the way of gender and sexuality. So I was like, oh my god, this could be really interesting. So that got me really excited for like all the possibilities of what could happen in this book. And I'll also say I have not read a high fantasy. I think more like, what would you call it? Is there a word for when it's like a high fantasy that's a little more medieval? Kind of more dragons and stuff? Okay, because then I haven't read a high fantasy. Or is that high fantasy? Oh my god. This is how you can tell I do not read this genre very often. So I have not read a fantasy series similar to this one since Game of Thrones, and I read the last Game of Thrones book when I was 18, so it's been a while. We don't have to discuss how many years, but it's been a while. Also discussing that, I need to reread the Game of Thrones series because back when I read it, I was like, I love this series, it's great, and now when I like, you know, when the brain starts thinking late at night, I'm going, okay, wait a minute. Daenerys was 13 and George R.R. Martin had her sleeping with a 30-some-year-old man, like, and then Sansa was also 13, but she and the Hound also had like, there was a lot of sexual tension. Why is it that he always makes his females so young, and why do they have sexual tension or just plain sex with much older men, and it's very much voyeuristic? Whatever, that's a video for another day. I'm getting too wound up about it. Time for us to reread. Also, when is that man coming out with the next one? I'm going to be reading the next one no matter what happens. I want to find out what happens to that little guy. You know? The one that wasn't in... The one who's the son, you know who I'm talking about. The one who's the son that's on the boat. I also, oh, now you're getting me on a Game of Thrones spin. Okay, I also feel like they did not, we all know they didn't have Arya's potential in the TV series. That is just without question, but that's why I think the book still has her chance to shine. Okay? I feel like we could see some freaky stuff from Arya and not freaky sexy stuff. Whatever, we have things to talk about when that book comes out. Many things to talk about. I got totally off topic. I'm not surprised. So, after, what do I plan to read after that? I wanted to read summer books. That was my huge thing because I just finished, as I talked about in my previous video, Call Me By Your Name and Find Me. Lots of things to say there, but positive or negative, at the end of the day, it got me in the mood for summertime. How did I... Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. You see my Stiefvater shelf right here? Yes, it's coming out May, so that's what I will be reading, that bad boy. I'll probably be rereading it. So that is definitely my number 3. For those of you who don't know, it's a series about Ronan Lynch from Maggie Stiefvater's Raven Cycle. Oh, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it? Okay. So the Dreamer trilogy is about shenanigans. But ultimately it's about dreamers, it's about metaphors, it's about art, it's about road trips with cult leaders, it's about when you have a hot boyfriend who goes to Yale and rides a motorcycle, but that's kind of intimidating. And what if he doesn't love you anymore because you just dream things for a living? And that's not as hot. And he's agnostic, so how is he supposed to get to heaven with you? That's what it's about. What more can I say? So, I'm super excited for Mr. Impossible. The name is, you know, but I'm still excited. Okay, bye.